Hello everybody, Red with you, doing something a little different. I've started a playthrough on Path of Exile. This is a free-to-play MMO that I actually saw another Let's Play on, and it looks pretty interesting, so I went ahead and downloaded it, and I figured I'd share that with you guys. The total download size is under 5 gigs, so it's not a huge program by any stretch of the imagination. And it's got a lot of very similar aspects. If you play Diablo or Torchlight, you'll see a lot of similarities there. This is a little more towards the realism side of things in terms of the graphics than, say, Torchlight was, but the mechanics are very similar. However, there is one very large difference, and we'll get to that a little later on when we're going through the character skill tree. Because there is, for somebody who is detail-oriented, for somebody who's a min-maxer, for somebody who pays that close attention to things, you will love this game. But we'll get into that in a minute. Experienced players are going to want to skip ahead because I'm going to go through all of the characters so everybody can see them. And we'll kind of treat this as a first playthrough. I've played this for about 45 minutes total. I had I played through with a couple of different characters for about 15 minutes apiece, just to see which one I really wanted to play with from start to finish. But I'm going to show you all of them now.
Attention, prisoners! For your crimes against Oriath, you have been exiled to the Forsaken Continent of Rayclast. The Magisters of Oriath are merciful and have granted all exiles one weapon. Choose wisely. Oriath has bestowed a gift upon you, a chance to redeem your crimes, a new life. Do not squander it.
I like the voice acting in this too. It's pretty awesome. So, alright, let's go through and kind of look and see who we've got here. Number 1.
I fought, wept, and bled for God and the Order. I would have died for my Templar brothers, every single one. And how do they reward my piety, my devotion? They exile me to the land of the damned, to Rayclast. I know now that my brethren are merely God's tools. He has given me this path to walk, so I shall muster my strength and my power, and my faith. It is my shield against the darkness to come.
So I kind of see him as the traditional cleric archetype. Paladin cleric, that kind of thing.
A simple job, I was told. Silence a big mouth, get a big payout, and no one was going to be the wiser. Tidy, except for one loose end. Me. I would have kept my mouth shut. Professional integrity, it's called. Unfortunately, not something my employers believed in. They raised a toast to a job well done. I drank, and the next thing I know, I'm on this stinking crate bound for exile. It's not a complete loss, I suppose. The way I hear it, there'll be plenty of work for a man of my talents in Rayclast.
Alright, standard rogue assassin type. Bet you can guess what this
I am
is.
a warrior. I was born to fight, raised to defend my tribe. Now, I have been taken from my people, chained and exiled by cowards who fear death. Death is my brother. I do not fear him. I see him in the eyes of the men and beasts that I kill. I feel him traveling beside me to this new land, this Rayclast. He will take me to meet the ancestors when I am ready, and I am not ready.
Alright then. Next up, our bow class.
You can't own a life. Not a deer's, not a rabbit's, and not mine. Every soul has a birth-given right to live however they will, however they can. I take from the wilderness, and one day it'll take me in return. Not that the fat lords of Oriath believe in such things. They call me poacher and thief, clap me in irons and haul me like cargo into exile. No matter. I'll make the forests and mountains of Rayclast my new home. My freedom and my bow, that's all I need.
Alright then. Next up, I don't really think that this guy has a traditional equivalent, but take a listen.
He had it coming. Was I supposed to bear such insults with an action simply because of his high birth? That lord sang a different tune with 6 inches of steel in his guts. Now they call me a criminal for defending my honor. I'd do the same again to anyone who crossed me. I care naught for riches, little for friendship. The duel is all I need. I may be in exile, but I will carve a road back to Oriath, one foe, one victory at a time. Ill fortune may have banished me to Rayclast, but I will live to hear them scream my name in the great arenas again.
And last but not least, our caster class.
They were right to fear me. If only they had listened to their cowardice. Had they not taken my home with fire, I would not have taken their children. Now I'm banished to Rayclast. I've heard the dark rumors, seen the terror in the other exiles' eyes. But to me, one land is like any other. The elements are my allies, the dead are my servants, and fear will be my closest friend.
Some pretty cool stuff. We got a lot of different options here as to what we're going to go with. There are a lot of cool things. Let me show you what the League means. These are basically game modes. Standard is standard. Hardcore is hardcore. The beautiful thing that is different from this, from any of the other ones
they
that
were right
hardcore.
To fear me.
Oh,
if only they had
quiet.
listened to their cowardice. Had they not taken my home with fire,
Stop
I
it.
would not have taken their children. Now I'm banished to Rayclast.
Can't own a life.
Well, this
Not
is
a
who we're going to
deer's,
go with
not a
anyway.
rabbit's,
I'm going to
and
talk
not
over
mine.
him, so sorry about that.
Every soul has a
hardcore,
birth-given
if
right
you
to
get killed
live
in
however
hardcore,
they
you just
will,
become standard, so
however
you
they
don't
can.
lose your guy. We're playing
I
in
take
hardcore,
from the wilderness,
and we're going to
one
play
day
in the
it'll take
Nemesis
me in
mode.
return.
Nemesis is kind of like
Not that the fat lords
hard
of Oriath
plus.
believe in such things.
The guys
They call me
are
poacher
the
and
rare
thief.
mobs are a little
Clap
tougher,
me in irons and haul me like
and
cargo
it
into
doesn't
exile.
last forever.
No matter.
Kind of thing. It's sort
I'll
of
make
a,
the forests and mountains of Rayclast my new
oh,
home.
it's just an additional little
My
challenge.
freedom
Okay,
and
we
my
go with it.
bow. That's all I need.
Redius the Ranger. I like it. Let's do it. Yep. Load up. Sweet. And you'll notice there's this little buff at the top. Grace period, you cannot be damaged, which is pretty handy. Because, well, I just washed up on shore. Let's go grab that bow. I turned on a couple of the options that are not the default options. Oh, it's still counting down, you'll notice. So, let's see, is she going to get up, or do I have a minute? I think I've got a minute. I went into the options screen. I changed out a few of the things that are not standard stuff. Where was it? It was under UI. Show corner map, which you can see up top here. That absolutely, positively is wonderful. You can change map transparency. I also turned on... where's the option? I turned on mini life bars on enemies. And... where's the other one I turned on? It's around here somewhere. It's not important. The other thing I turned on is so that anything that's laying on the ground is automatically highlighted. By default, you have to hold down Alt if you want to have that show up. I just like having it show up. I may change that in the future. We'll see. Alright, so we hopped up. We got our bow. They automatically equip things that are beneficial, so that's nice, if there's a gap. Now, let me explain to you just a little bit about how the mechanics of this work, and we'll learn more as we go. You'll see that there's different slots for items and things along those lines. There's a couple of rings, a neck, a chest, a hat, gloves, boots, belt, and then we got our weapon slots. And you'll notice, too, that there are these little holes covering up the graphic. And what those holes are, the main way to gain abilities in this game, the ability to do things. Right now, if you look down here at the bottom, you can see we just have our default attack. As we gain other abilities, they'll fit into these hotbars, and you can change these keys around. I'm not going to probably bother, but you can change the keys around. Now, you slot in abilities into these red, green, or blue orbs, depending on, obviously, different abilities or different colors, and then that gives your character the ability. So if I had a fireball, I could put it in here and suddenly I'd have the ability to cast Fireball with a right click, or things along those lines. And it's not just abilities, there's also support gems as well. Things that like increase fire damage by 50% or something along those lines. But we'll get more into that later on. That's the kind of just the quick version of how this works. I think you'll see it a little bit more in detail.
We're all that made it.
Sec.
They dumped 24 of us exiles off that ship. Guess that makes us the lucky ones. Luckier than this poor bastard beside me, at any rate. Splinter sticking out of me? Missed all the important bits. I saw smoke at those ruins up the beach. Go get some help. And on my chest...
Oops. Sorry, dude. You got eaten. Alright. Burning Arrow. You see it's a green gem that drops. First off, whenever you do the playthrough, this first zombie will always give you a gem so that you can socket it. Now let's take a look at it. Fires an arrow that deals fire damage to its target and has an increased chance of igniting it, setting it on fire. 30% of physical damage is extra fire, 10% chance to ignite, and 20% increased burning damage. And you'll see there's also an experience bar underneath it. These gems level up just like you do. That 1 of 70 is the current experience level. It's a level 1 gem right now. You can see that right at the top there, which I can't highlight because derp, I'm holding my cursor there, but it's a level 1 gem. When you get 70 kills into it, it'll level up to a level 2 gem, or 70 experience points, depending on how many points you get per kill. Now, that's really cool because it means that your gems get better as you get better. The only thing is you got to be careful that you don't out-level your gems. Right now we're level 1, our gem's level 1, everything is Jake, it's perfect, it's wonderful. However, the gems will level up faster than you, so you do have to be careful with it. Now we're going to take this and just drop it right on in. Boom! And you'll see now I have this burning arrow as my right mouse click. This is the left mouse click, this is the right mouse click. That's it. It's in there, I have the ability. The other cool thing, these guys, the life flasks and mana flasks, unlike traditional health potions in other games, when you use these, they don't disappear. The bottle empties, but refills over time. Let me restate that. If you use these, they don't go away forever. They'll come back as you kill monsters and run around the world. They're also not instantaneous, unlike a lot of other games. It's more of, instead of a heal potion, think of it as a regen potion. And it does it pretty quick, 60 life over 6 seconds, but it's not an instant save you from death kind of thing. Let's go explore a little bit, shall we? I hear things. Oh, there we go. Much like Diablo or any of the rest of them, if you hold shift it keeps you from moving. Now you'll notice when I use my special ability that mana went down. The fire arrow. It went down on the mana side. That's what fuels you. Every character has mana. Every character has life. They don't differentiate between, you know, casters or non-casters or things along those lines. Oops. Whoa! Neat. Ah! White is normal armor. Blue is magical stuff. Alright, we got junky armor, junky armor. Iron Greaves, these are unidentified. You know, to identify them and equip them, you need these Scrolls of Wisdom. 19 to maximum life, plus 7% to cold resistance. Yes, please. And by equipping those, you can kind of see that it actually changes the look. Look at my feet. Look at my feet, look at my feet. It actually does change the look. Everything you put on will actually change your look. See, the hands change there too. The one exception is the belt. So not everything, but most everything with the exception of belt, and I don't think necklace or rings do either. But for the rest of the armor pieces, it absolutely changes your appearance. Now we'll just kind of wander around a bit more. I enjoy the fire arrow. I like the background music in this game too. It's very good. It's very appropriate. It sounds like it belongs. Some games just kind of slap music at you and it never really works. In this game, it does. It sounds good. By the way, another cool feature. You'll see as I'm shooting these guys, arrows actually stick out of the mobs when I shoot them, which is kind of cool. Barrels. That old standby. Here, watch, I'll show you. Alright, you see how there's now an arrow sticking out of his back? Because I shot him in the back. there's one sticking out of his front now too. You see that? You see those arrows there? I always thought that those are the kind of little details that I really feel adds a lot to. Wow, one shot. That adds a lot to a game and to a sense of adventure and fun. At least for me, finding those little bugaboos, the little details makes all the difference in the world. Frankly, without those, worlds can feel empty and dull. To me, you really need that stuff. I don't know. For me, it's not a make or break kind of thing, but it's absolutely a thing that will keep me coming back. It's what.
I'm still breathing. That's a good sign.
For me, it's a thing that absolutely will keep my attention. It shows that the developers put that much time and effort into the game to do little stuff like that, and it really does make a difference to me. So, not that any developers are ever going to watch this, but thanks. By the way, you'll see up here, my gem is getting close to leveling up. 56 of 60. It gives you that little warning, or 56 of 70. It gives you that little warning, which is pretty cool. Now, since we have just skilled up, we're going to wander back just a hair to ensure that we don't get jumped, and we're going to dive into the skill tree, because this is what really makes Path of Exile excellent. This is very cool. This is the skill tree. Do you see the size of this thing? Do you see how big this son of a gun is? There are over 1,300 abilities that you can have. I think at endgame there's 115 points you've got. Let me let that sink in for just a second. There are over 1,300 abilities. You can customize your character in any number of different ways. Everybody starts out on this hub. Everybody has the same 3 core stats: intelligence, strength, and dexterity. We picked a ranger. We're very dex heavy. Fighters are strength heavy. Casters, the witch, is intelligence heavy. And then the other 3 classes are hybrid type classes. The duelist, I believe, is strength dex. The rogue assassin thing, I forgot what they were called. Shadows, that's it, are int dex. And the Templar, which was the cleric class, is int strength. So they'll start off going different directions on the main color wheel. We start off going dex heavy. As you look through these things, each one of these little guys, these are skill points, and they each have a specific benefit to your character. For example, this one, evasion in life, 18% evasion rating and 12 max life. This increased attack speed. So do I want to go more defensive or more offensive? And then that will lead to additional choices. If I took this one, then I get increased accuracy or dex. And then if I took this one, I'd go at hack speed or projectile damage. You can make these characters into a lot of different things. These abilities that you see here that have kind of got the little marks around them, these are major abilities, okay? Ballistics Mastery, projectile speed, projectile damage, big dex bump. Down here, finesse, attack speed, accuracy rating, dexterity, and so forth. There are a lot of different ways to make your character. And the thing of it is, you can absolutely turn a character from one thing into another. Let's say I start out with the Ranger like I just did. Well, I'm supposed to stay down in this area. This is the dex area. This is where all the rangery stuff is. This is where, I mean, knocks back enemies if you get a critical strike with a bow. It's way up here, but I mean, it's rangery type stuff, right? Well, let's say I decided, you know what, I'm going to be different. I'm going to make a ranger, but I'm going to do weird things with them. I want to do stuff that rangers don't normally do. Well, what's over here? Let's take a look at this side of things. Strength. Maybe I want armor mastery. Maybe I want to turn them into a tank. Well, that's way over here, but if you follow the path, you could come all the way down here. You could hop your way around. You could come all the way up and work your way over into this strength section. Just hopping your way up through the plan. It'd take a while to get there, but you could absolutely do it if you chose to. And the same goes for the magic stuff that's up top here. Let's say I wanted to make a ranger that had lots of cold damage spells. Cold damage. They freeze people with arrows and things along those lines. Well, I'd have to track it all the way through, but I'm pretty sure that you can come your way. Dun, 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 back down this way. Dun, 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 dun. You can happen. You can absolutely do that if you so choose. It's pretty cool what you can actually do. I would advise, if you do get into the game, to give yourself 5 minutes or 10 minutes and kind of just look over the skill tree. There's a great full page of it on the Path of Exile. If you just Google Path of Exile skill tree, it'll give you a full page of this. And it's interactive, so you can look at it and click it and play with it and do all sorts of other things. It's pretty cool stuff, and it really does give a lot of options. So, I mean, honestly, how cool would that be? You get to be a ranger, but you shoot frost bolts or lightning bolts or fireballs? I mean, not gonna lie, that's kind of cool, isn't it? I kind of think it is. Anyway, that was just to kind of show you guys what's out there. There are a lot of options that you can do. I think we're going to end up going... We're going to stick to the rogue side for now anyway. I think this is kind of where we're going to kind of aim this direction to start with. Kind of head over towards Aspect of the Eagle. That's, I think, what would make the most sense, because you can see it gives you a lot of real nice stuff. And I mean, you got to work your way up there, but it's bow damage, it's speed, it's ballistic mastery, projectile mastery, accuracy, and attack speed. I think that is the direction we want to go. I think we're not going to go the pure dex route. I think we're going to go this way. So I picked the point. Now I could refund it if I wanted to, and now I go back to having a point. Once you put it in, that's done. Finished. You can't get it back. It's done. It's there. The only time you can ever redo your points is if the developers come out with a big patch and they change skill trees around, which happens very, very infrequently. So make sure you know what you're doing. You're going to get 115 of these guys. It's up to you where to go from there. So anyway, let's back out and go kill some more stuff. You'll see it was 2 shots that time instead of the 3 it's been taken. Character's getting stronger. Whoop! Now you see this guy's got a red name. He is definitely a big boy. He is a rare mob, which means he's going to be tougher. He's going to have some different stuff going on, though this is the first one, so he's not really that tough. Alright, now I'm going to have a chance to show you what I meant by refill. You see it's going to go up, but it doesn't actually completely empty out. He just pulled a sword out of himself. I'm going to use a health potion, because why not? I'm not really being all that rangery, but okay. Ooh, neat! My burning arrow gem is ready to level up, so we leveled up our burning arrow gem. We picked up some other good stuff, too. Yellow is really rare, or at least pretty rare. More rare? Rare. Alright, let's pick this stuff up and see what we got here. Okay. Scroll of Wisdom. Whoa. That is very good. Wow. That's really good. 24 maximum mana, 12 dexterity, 1 to 2 fire damage, 10 to accuracy. Wow. Yes, please. That's a big time upgrade for us. Alright. Fantastic. And we'll identify this too. If I use claw weapons, that'd be kind of neat. I don't, but you never know. You see that, by the way, you can flip back and forth between weapon sets. And you can do that with the X button, too. That's the default key, the X button. I think I'll actually dump that in there, just in case I end up going that direction at some point. I don't think I will, but if you hold the Alt button, too, in addition to looking at just this, it'll also compare it to what you've got in your inventory. Driftwood wands, shields, gauntlets, glass shank. Oh, you know what we can do? We can put the shank over here too. Just for giggles. Don't need to. Alright, so we got wands, and because of no CD, there we go. And by the way, you'll notice, mana completely, it's not completely filled up. Currently has 37 of 40 total charges. This has 20 of 21, even though I used it. So, alright, so now we've got all of our stuff equipped. That is a really awesome ring. Let's level up the gem. Yeah, that's it. That's all it takes. Now when we go in and look at it, it says it's a level 2 gem, requires level 2. And you'll see the increase that it had on it. It pumped up all of those stats. 11% chance instead of 10% chance to ignite enemies, for example. So that's pretty cool stuff. It's increasing with power as we do. We also got this thing at the bottom. Enter town for your reward. And this brings up the world map. Enemy at the cave. You've killed Hillock. Enter town for your reward. And it gives us a little mini-map. We're here. We need to head there for it. Piece of cake. Let's wander up there. I don't know where it's at, but... oh, it's right here. You'll see on the map this red spot. That means that there's a gate there. Yep, there we go. In we go. We've entered Lion Eye's Watch. There's a book there, which is Letters of Exile. Let's take a peek. Unauthorized political satire. Performing in public without a license. Fun stuff. Alright, let's we'll wander around. Okay, this game, like, and I told you, I went experimenting with a lot of the other characters. This is all low-level stuff. I didn't pump myself up or do anything goofy. I do have a few extra little things in here, but not important for now. It's got a shared stash. That was the whole point of showing you this. There is a shared stash. Life flasks, mana flasks, so on and so forth. I've got some stuff that I dumped in here because, well, I got some stuff I dumped in here. Why not? We're doing a playthrough. So, I probably will pick up some of that stuff here momentarily, but I want to show you the rest of it first. So, we go over to Tarkley.
Fine work with Hillock. Where'd you learn to fight like that? No, don't tell me. We exiles have no history. Dominus took it from us the moment his blackguards dumped us in the water out there. Just live or die now. Here, have one of these. And no need to thank me. I'm thinking of myself and the others here. The longer we fighters live, the longer everyone lives.
Alright, reward time. So we get split arrow, multiple arrows at different targets. That's actually really handy. Dual strike, it's dual wield stuff. And reeve, which is like a cleave thing for melee stuff. We don't need that. We're taking split arrow. Now notice, even though this is an offensive thing, I can just dump it wherever I want. Thank you, goodbye for now. I can put it right into the boots. It doesn't matter. And you'll also notice that it actually has given me another ability, split arrow here. It's on my middle mouse click. I don't really want it there, so I'm going to left click on that. I'm going to clear that slot. I just like leaving that open. I'm going to go to the Q, and I'm going to put split arrow there. So now split arrow is in my Q key. By the way, the reason they're grayed out, you can't attack people, and you can't shoot your weapons in town.
Still alive, are we?
I'm going to get to the dialogue here in just a bit, but I wanted to show you the mechanics first, okay? Actually, I wanted to show you the sell item mechanics. You'll notice that there's no currencies. No gold, no plat, no silver, no copper, no nothing. So what do you do with stuff that you don't need? Well, I'm holding down control, I'm clicking it over. I'm getting rid of it, I'm selling this stuff. Okay, this is all things I don't care about. Bye-bye. I'm going to actually do it a little differently. And you can see what he's using as currency are scroll fragments. For every normal item, you get a scroll fragment. For every 5 normal items, they combine and make a scroll of wisdom. Remember, we were using these to identify. So this is a very practical, very handy thing to have. We absolutely want that. Goodbye. Now we got our scroll of wisdom, and we got rid of all our junk. Now the next time we find a item that we can put into, you know, the next time we find something that we don't know what it is, identify. Pretty handy stuff. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and shut the episode down right there. We're getting pretty good on time. We will be back to talk to the rest of these people, do the dialogue. We completed our quest. Hooray for us. It's a good stopping point. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned a little bit today. We'll be back with more Path of Exile and me, Red. Later.